as far as so when it comes to decision making, I've been kind of on this journey of like self-improvement for a few years, and it keeps coming across this line saying that, including Bob, saying that for successful people, makes decisions very quickly and changes their mind very slowly. And I've noticed that about myself. And I feel that ever since, and again, I wasn't always like this, but I think as I practice kind of like in my mental capacity of accumulating information, I get faster and better at processing it, and I come into a conclusion much faster. And once I made those decisions, there's no reason for me to change it because I have spent the time processing and collecting information before I do it. So I feel like everything that TIR teaches us, it's very logical, even though it's like, oh, believe this, but there is a lot of logic behind all the teachings.
Yeah.
So going back to the changes that happened with me, I think financially is one of the biggest mind shift, and second is prioritizing what really is important to me. So for many years, I don't know, it's probably close to 20 years, I worked really hard. I always knew I wanted to be successful. I always worked really hard. I side hustled and I do everything. So I felt like I've tried everything. And I was never really, I made progress financially, growing my net worth, but it was very slow, very snail. And so it's because I was a very logical person. I always, felt that, okay, if I did this, I'll take a step. And I'll do this and I'll take half a step. And I would have so much on my plate that I was exhausted. I think I was sharing, and Ken will always make fun of this because on weekends I would make him, so instead of hiring like a handyman to do anything, I would send him to a rental property and be the gardener or be the handyman. And if he hates it, that's not how he works. But because I was really quite poor when we're young, so I had this mentality that you gotta hustle, you gotta work hard. And so it wasn't until TIR I realized that is not the way to do it, and that TIR teaches about quantum leap. And quantum leap is what I think really changed my life. I think I worked like close to 20 years to accumulate a certain amount of net worth. And I think in about a year, I quadrupled that. And it was quadrupled that. And I'm like, well, what happened? Like, I didn't quite know what happened. And then I think TIR kind of really shine a light on it. So I came across Lillian's post and somehow we connected, and right away I was like, I need to study this material. And so because of TIR, now I understand all of what was going on, like how I can grow my wealth over time, how it's so much easier to grow my wealth now, and not do everything that I was doing before. So all of things that side hustle I was doing before, I actually trimmed it out because when I once TIR taught me how to set a C goal, and it was very clear to me what the steps I need to take to get there. And so anything that because one of my C goal was to accumulate a certain amount of asset with passive income and travel the world with my family 4 months out of the year. So certain things I'm doing will not allow me to, let's say, travel around the world, right? So then I know that every time I come across an opportunity, it doesn't align with my goal, that has to go. Every time I come across an opportunity and it does not, tenfold my money, then, and it just, it just costs me more work than reward, then that has to go. So once I have a very clear C goal, it was very easy to make decisions to align with it. And because of that, for me, money grows very easily and very quickly. And so, and of course, we do every so often have doubts, and that's where all the practice and mindfulness and affirmation and diving into material consistently help us to do.